happy people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dera Evelynn if you're new, and thank you for clicking on this video. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my winter reading list for 2021. If you guys didn't already know, on my vision board for this year, I made a goal for myself to read at least one book per month. So I have a really bad habit of starting a book and not finishing it because I'll go to another book. I will start reading one book, and if something else captures my interest, I will start reading that. And then if something else seems like very fascinating, I will start reading that. And I need to get out of that habit and finish the book that I started before I start getting too excited and trying to read the next book. So that is my goal for this year, is to actually finish one book and be patient before trying to move on to the next. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this reading list. I actually chose 2 books to read per month. So I'm going to see how that goes, if I can really read 2 books per month for the winter. And if everything goes smoothly and I can get it done, then I'll continue that for spring, summer, and fall. But I just had a lot of books that I really wanted to read this year. It's going to be a little challenge because I do work full-time as well as YouTube and bake on the side. But we're going to see if I can balance it all. So this is my pile of books for this winter season. I'm so excited to dive into this pile. I'm going to go ahead and start with January. So for this winter season, these books are for January, February, and March. So my first book for January, I have Homebody by Ruby Cool. I'm pretty excited to read Homebody. I have her first book, which was, I believe, Milk and Honey, and her second book, The Sun and Her Flowers. So I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of her poetry and Homebody. I already kind of started reading some of the poems online before I purchased this book. So I'm really excited to see what's in store for this one. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of her work and kind of see her poetry as like Insta poetry, like Instagram worthy type of content, but it depends on you, the person who's reading, and what you like and what you personally enjoy. If you picked up her first 2 books and you enjoyed those, you most likely will enjoy this third book in her collection. So I mean, I personally enjoy her poetry, so I'm looking forward to reading the rest of her work. So my second book for January is this book called Dare to Bloom. This book was actually a gift from one of my best friends, my good girlfriend Daisy. She has a small group and we meet weekly on Wednesdays, and this was a gift that she gave to our small group for Christmas. I decided to just kick off the year with reading this book that she gave us, and it's by a female Black author called Zim Flores. And it says, trusting God through painful endings and new beginnings. On the back it says, plans are great, but missions are better. Her parents had big plans for her life. The daughter of Nigerian immigrants, Zim Flores, was uprooted from her community as a young girl, marking the beginning of her quest for true identity. Though she experienced unprecedented worldly success as a teenager and young adult, Zim declares that even when we feel pressured by the world around us, our true identity is never at risk. In Dare to Bloom, Zim vulnerably reveals the challenges she has faced and how even her failures have helped shape her sense of purpose. Along with breathtaking photography from her travels, Zim offers practical and hard-won truths about how we can learn to joyfully participate in our stories, even when we don't know what the future holds. As everything changes around us, it can be easy to think that we're only as good as our last success. Though our identities are challenged day by day, Dare to Bloom encourages us to reclaim our identity in God, who is unchanging through it all. It's pretty ironic how on the cover it says, trusted God through painful endings and new beginnings, because we just ended one year and we're beginning a new year. So I think this is a great book to start off 2021, especially as a Christian woman, a woman of faith. So I'm really am looking forward to finishing this book. I already kind of started going through the book and reading a little bit of it, and I really love the photography in this book. Like, it's really crazy. It's so beautiful. The art in here, it truly is breathtaking. And I'm really big on art and photography, so that really kind of like got me more excited to learn more about her journey and her walk with Christ. So I'm looking forward to finishing this book. So now on to February. February is an interesting month. It is the month of love, and it is also Black History Month. So I picked up 2 interesting reads. My first book is The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. I hope I said her name right. But this book is very popular. I've seen it around for like the past 2 years. I tried to make this one of my book clubs, book of the month, like over a year ago or so, but it was never chosen. And I always wanted to read her series, so I finally picked up the book, and I thought this would be great to read for February, and I'm really excited. And she's a Black author, so for February I did dedicate this month to strictly reading work from Black authors. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the back for you all. It says, I vowed to take thee as my date, to pretend to have and to hold, from rehearsal dinner to reception in, till Sunday do us part. Agreeing to go to a wedding with a guy she gets stuck with in the elevator is something Alexa Monroe wouldn't normally do. She's definitely not the spontaneous type, but there's something about Drew Nichols that's too hard to resist. Drew has never found it hard to meet women or to know when to just leave them. But now, on the eve of his ex's wedding festivities, he's minus a +1 until a power outrage shreds him with the perfect candidate for a fake girlfriend. From the best man's toast to the bouquet toss, Alexa and Drew have more fun than they ever thought possible. But before they know it, Drew has to fly back to Los Angeles in his job as a pediatric surgeon, and Alexa heads home to Berkeley, where she's the mayor's chief of staff, and neither of them can stop thinking about the other. They're just 2 high-powered professionals on a collision course toward the long-distance dating disaster of the century, or closing the gap between what they think they need and what they truly want. I'm all for a good feel-good romance story. I love romance. I love romance novels. I love feel-good romance movies. So I just know that this is just going to fill me up. So this is going to be a great book. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, again, I'm so excited that I finally picked up this book after so long of just not reading it. Now on to my second book for February. Again, it is another female Black author. So this book is called The Mothers by Britt Bennett. I actually read her book The Vanishing Half a couple of months ago, and it was so good. And I heard about her book The Mothers like a while ago, around when it first came out, but I never picked it up. But after reading The Vanishing Half, I was like, okay, I need to pick up her first book and read that, because if it's as good as The Vanishing Half, then I gotta read it. So it says, an urgent and provocative debut from an exciting new voice. The Mothers is a book about community and ambition, love and friendship, and living up to expectation in contemporary Black America. It begins with a secret, then follows the secret through the lives of 3 different characters from high school into adulthood, tracing its impact from beyond their Southern California youth. It is the last season of high school life for Nadia Turner, a rebellious, grief-stricken 17-year-old beauty. She'll be the first of her family to go to college, if she indeed leaves home, as she intends in the fall. But meanwhile, mourning her mother's recent suicide, she has taken up with the local pastor's son. Luke Shepard is a 21, handsome but lacking direction, a former football star whose injury has reduced him to waiting tables. They are younger, it's not serious. They keep their relationship to themselves, but the secret that results from this romance and the subsequent cover-up will have an impact that goes far beyond their youth. As Nadia hides the truth from everyone, including Aubrey, her chaste best friend, the years move quickly. Soon, Nadia, Luke, and Aubrey are full-fledged adults, still shadowed by the choices they made in their youth, by the constant nagging question, what if they have chosen differently? The possibilities of the road not taken are a realistic haunt. With her stunning first novel, Britt Bennett demonstrates a moving understanding of the human landscape, the way that betrayals and losses accrue and swell and ultimately shape whole communities. With wisdom, empathy, and insight, the mothers ask whether what if can be more powerful than experience itself. Whether as time passes, we must always live in servitude to the decisions of our younger selves and to the communities that have parented us. So just from reading the summary, this doesn't seem like something I would normally pick up to read on my own, but again, after reading her second novel, it was so amazing, and I've heard really great things about this, so I want to give it a chance and see if I like it. So that is the last book for February. Now moving on to March. So my first book from March is Where the Crawdad Sings, and this book has been like #1 on the bestsellers list forever. And I remember when this book first came out and everyone was talking about it. I even ran into this older lady in the bookstore who was raving about this book, and we were having a conversation with one another, and she was just telling me how much she enjoyed this book and how I needed to read it. And honestly, I was planning to read this book last year, but I don't know, something happened and I didn't end up reading it, but I'm going to read it this March, so I'm looking forward to getting into this novel. I'm also excited because the setting takes place in North Carolina, so that's pretty fun. How long can you protect your heart? For years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand. Then the time comes when she yearns to be touched and loved, when two young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty. Kaya opens herself to a new life. The unthinkable happens. What the Crawdad Sings is at once an exquisite ode to the natural world, a heartbreaking coming-of-age story, and a surprising tale of a possible murder. Owens reminds us that we are forever shaped by the children we once were, and that we are all subject to the beautiful and violent secrets that nature keeps. Wow, and this book has over 5 million copies, so I didn't even know it has sold over that many copies. This has been talked about for so long. I just need to see what the hype is about, but I honestly have not heard one bad thing about this book from anyone personally, so I know it has to be good. It has to be good. Over 5 million copies sold. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very intriguing read. So my last book for March is The Best of Friends, and I actually found out about this book from one of my favorite YouTubers. I think I saw her share it on one of her Insta stories or something like that, but it seemed very intriguing, and I ended up ordering this book around the fall time, but I haven't got the chance to read it. It's a thriller book, and I really enjoy thriller books, so I'm praying that this is a good read. On the back it says, they were living the dream until it became a nightmare. Best friends Lindsay, Kendra, and Danny endure every parent's nightmare when a tragic accident befalls their teenage boys, leaving one dead, another in a coma, and a third too traumatized to speak. Reeling from the worst night of their lives, the three mothers plunge into a desperate investigation of the bizarre incident. How could something so horrible happen in their wealthy Southern California suburb? They soon discover that the accident was just the beginning, and troubling discoveries lead to chilling questions. Do they really know their children? Do they even know each other? As more secrets surface, a fog of doubt and suspicion threatens to poison their families, their friendships, and their whole community. With the illusion of happiness and safety long gone, these women must now confront the hazards of heartbreak, the consequences of jealousy, and the dangers of living double lives. Ooh, this seems so good and a great way to end my winter reading list. I love a good thriller book. I love a little mess, a little scandal, a little murder mystery. So that is my complete winter reading list for 2021. I'm looking forward to getting into these books. I'm holding myself accountable to finishing them and not moving on to another book. So with that being said, please hold me accountable as well. And if you guys want to read along with me, go ahead and pick up some of these books and we could talk about them. I'll most likely would like share stuff on my Insta story. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me, because I will most likely be sharing stuff on there. I also have a Twitter, but I don't really get on there as much. But if you want to follow me on there as well, I kind of share my thoughts here and there. It's the same as my Instagram, Dera Evelynn, so you can follow me on there as well. But definitely follow me on my Instagram because I post on there consistently. So that is it for this video. If you guys have any cool things that you're reading this winter that is not on my current reading list, drop it down below so I can check it out and maybe I can add that to my list for spring. And until next time, I love you guys, I appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video.